Okay. All right. So let me just show the setup here. I do have a strap. It's sort of hiding behind that block there. Which if those of you who have straps, if you want to just get them handy, and it could be a belt or a sash or a scarf or anything like that. I may not use it every week, but sometimes we might use it. And I'll give alternatives. If you don't have a strap, you can sort of do the same movement without a strap. And blocks also, if you have them, great. If not, don't worry about it. I'll show you what to do without them. And then we slide our feet around on the floor. And so something, depending on what surface your floor is, you'll need something you can slide on. So this is carpet, and these are furniture sliders. Paper plates work just as well. If you're on a hardwood or a laminate kind of surface, a towel on the floor, or you could throw your yoga blanket down. And then, chairs are not one size fits all. We all have different leg lengths. So if your legs are longer and you wish you had a taller chair, you can add a blanket to the top. If your legs are shorter or you wish you had a shorter chair, put your blanket on the floor under your feet. And then you can use that blanket to slide around on. And if your surface is carpeted, you're not going to want to slide around with a blanket there. You could maybe open the blanket up more, or just fold the blanket, or get the blanket folded away and scoot to the edge of your chair. That'll help your feet length, leg length. All right, so let's get started. All right, so just sitting up tall, and whenever you can, don't lean back into the chair back, but sit a little bit forward, and that will help start to strengthen the long spinal muscles and your core muscles that help to hold you upright. And I've had yoga teachers that say the chairs were a horrible invention, and they really were, for in terms of our core strength. So whenever possible, don't lean back into a chair back. Not just in yoga class, but in general. And then, because those muscles have been weakened from sitting in chairs all our lives, you can't make the muscle work that hard for too long. So when the muscle gets fatigued, then by all means lean back for a little bit. And as you slowly build up strength over time, that core strength, you'll be able to sit forward in the chair longer and longer periods of time. Okay, so sit comfortable. Hopefully your feet are on a surface. So put blankets under your feet if you need to stack that up. Roughly, you want 90-degree angles here, your shin bones to your thigh bones to your torso, or the hips can be even higher. So you can always put more height under you if you need, or scoot your feet out or something. So adjust that, but not tighter angles. So you want more open angles or 90 degrees. And let's just take a couple of breaths. My glasses over there. So as you're letting your breath and your body settle in, start to notice the length of your inhale compared to the length of your exhale. You might notice if one or the other has more sound to it. People have a more sort of the pressure or the force of the breath is a little bit harsher or harder, and it makes a sound. So notice if you have more sound on one aspect of the breath or the other. And the one that has the more sound generally is shorter. So you want to start to try to quiet that breath down and lengthen that aspect of the breath. So you really don't want sound to your breath. Only you hear it, not, say, if you had two people sitting beside you, they wouldn't be able to hear your breath. So make it that quiet. And make both aspects of the breath about even. So the length of time for your inhale is about the same length of time as your exhale. And we'll do movement linked with the breath. So I'll tell you to do one thing on your inhale and another thing on the exhale. And first get the movement down. And then once the movement is familiar, then add the sort of the second ball to juggle, the coordinating that with your breath. And some of the movements will coordinate easy and some of them not so easy. So just do the best you can. I'll still be giving the breath cues, and just for sure use the breath cues as a reminder not to hold the breath, which we do when we're doing something new. So try not to hold the breath, and just as soon as you catch yourself holding the breath, exhale. All right, let's start with the movement of just rolling the hands so the palms turn up on the inhale, and on the exhale, palms down. And you go in sync with your breath, which may be at a faster or slower rate than mine. So don't try to do it in sync with me, but in the end, you may be doing more or less repetitions than me, and that's okay. All right, we're going to start to let the hands leave the lap and get a little more range of motion. So my elbows are still kind of close into my body, but my forearm, the lower arm, is coming away and back onto the body. And then we'll get a little more and more range of motion. So now I'm going to let my elbows go out a little more. And you are only doing the range of motion that works for you. I think somebody's mic might be on. Could you please make sure your mic is muted? And so some people's arm movement, their range of motion won't allow them to take the arms above the shoulder. So you just hold back where your range of motion allows. And even if it's on one side, like don't hold back just one arm. When we're doing both arms at the, doing the same thing, hold back one arm to match the other one. So if one arm doesn't want to go up, you're just going to keep both arms at the pace of the one arm dictating where to go. All right, so your largest range of motion for you today, and hold, wherever that is for you, just hold right there, keep breathing. And then on an exhale, bring it back to the lap. And we're gonna come down to the torso, to the spine. And on the exhale, we'll round the spine a little bit. And on the inhale, a little baby back bend. You can add the head and neck in that if you like. The head can look down when you exhale and go up just beyond looking at the horizon line. You don't have to do a huge range of motion on the neck, only what's comfortable for you. All right, and then we're going to come down to the legs. So come back to neutral and put your feet on whatever you're going to use to slide your feet on on the floor. Scooch forward toward the edge of the chair seat, and you can bring your hands back behind you if you like. And we're going to start with just one leg with the heel on whatever you're sliding on, and stretch the leg out on the inhale, bend the knee, exhale, bring the leg back in. And continue going like that out in front. Let me just see if I can find who that is. Okay. Oops. And then start to go out to the side. It's that same foot. You're going to take it out to the side, bit by bit, like spoke by spoke, imagining like a wheel here, a bicycle wheel. And then pick one of these spokes that's more toward the middle and hold right there and point and flex. All movements are within your range. Don't try to mimic me. Just noticing what your body's range of motion is today, and keep your knee a little bit soft there so the knee is free. And then on the exhale, bend the knee back in and back up to the top and relax. All right, other side, same thing. Heel down, stretch the leg out, flexing the foot, reach through that calf, let the calf get a stretch. Inhale out, exhale back in. Working in sync with your breath. See if you can juggle both the movement and the breath. Inhale. In general, when limbs are straight, it's going to be your inhale, and when they bend, it'll be an exhale. You can think of coming in toward fetal position as the exhale, and anything that expands out will be an inhale. And starting to head out toward the sides, side spokes. I have to scoot side to side on my chair because the chair has a little groove in, and these knobs on the edge hit my thigh in just the wrong spot. All right, and a spoke in the middle and point and flex there. And circles, both directions, a couple times in each direction, letting that knee be soft. And then bring it back in and up, work your way back up to the top. Right, and then let's take both feet out front. And some of the time you can point, keeping the toes down toward the floor, and some of the time flex. So I like to flex more for my legs. I like that calf stretch, but some people have really tight ankles and like that stretch across the top of the ankle more. And you might need both, and so just keep alternating. So if you can tell one is tighter on you, my calves are always tighter than my ankles. So I do more flexing. So you're noticing what does your body need more of, and that's really what yoga is, trying to bring balance to the body. So the tight spots we're trying to make more flexible, and the flexible places we're trying to make tighter, which we would call strengthening them in yoga. All right, so we got the arms, the shoulders, the spine, and the legs. We're going to do a little more work with the spine. And so if you do have blocks, you can bring those into the sides. We'll get to those in a second. And I'm going to take my glasses off one more time. All right, so let's do a lateral and a twist. So start with the hands on the hips, not using the blocks to begin with. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and on the exhale, lean over to one side. Inhale, back up. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, back up. Exhale here. On the inhale, raise the arms part way. And on the exhale, take a twist over to one side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, other side. We're going to repeat those 4 movements. Lateral to left or right, lateral the other way, twist to either side, and twist the other way. All right, ready? Go at your pace with your breath. You can have the hands to the hips for the laterals. Exhale when you go over. Inhale back up. Exhale here. Arms come up on the inhale. Take a twist. Inhale back to center. Other side. And relax the arms down. And we'll go through that again, but each position we will hold for a breath. So here's where your blocks might come in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lateral to one side, and you can bring your hand down the chair leg or to a rung on the chair if you have that, or to your block. We're going to just hold right here, keep breathing, and then inhale back up, and exhale, go the other way. Keep breathing. So I'm saying one breath, but it might be 2 or 3 for you, depending on how fast-paced your breaths are or slow-paced. Inhale, come on back up. And exhale here. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, take a twist. One hand crosses to the opposite knee, the other hand back behind anywhere. You can rest it on the chair back or the chair seat. Just hold right there. Keep breathing. Tailbone down, top of the head, stretching up toward the ceiling so you have a nice long spine. And then on an inhale, unwind and go the other way. So in general, we'll warm up in and out of a pose before we hold it like this. So if ever you find even just moving in and out of the pose difficult, then don't hold. When we hold the pose, you can just keep moving and maybe back off a little bit. Don't try to go in so deep. So you sort of ease your way into movements that you get a little catch or a kink or something like that. If it's pain, you're just going to skip the movement. Don't move into pain. All right, we're going to turn a little to one side of the chair and bring your slider on under the foot that's the leg that's closest to your screen. And we'll do those spokes again. So we did these spokes up in the sort of the top half of the bicycle wheel, but we're going to continue doing spokes down out toward the back half. And let the leg go as straight as it's willing to go today. So if that knee needs a little bend to it. And some of the time you can keep the whole foot on the floor. And some of the time keep the ball of the foot on the floor and the heel can be up. And some of the time you can lift the toes up and stretch through that calf or keep the heel down. So turn all the way to one side of your chair and drop the leg, the front leg down in front of the chair seat. So scoot to the edge of the chair enough so that you can drop that leg down. And we're going to aim this knee back behind the hip. So if this is the knob of my hip, I'm going to aim that knee back to stretch into the front of the thigh. And this can go back as far as comfortable for you to get a deeper stretch. And you can also bend and straighten it. When you bend it, it can come all the way up and all the way back, as big a range of motion as comfortable for you. Just warming that hip up, and then pick a spot to hold, and we'll stay there for a breath or so. And you're going to wait for an exhale to bend the knee back in. All right, and then walk it around to the other side. You can go just to the corner of the chair if you like, or all the way over. Up to you. Oops, and have your slider handy there, whatever you're sliding on. All right, we'll start with the spokes in the front again. And continue hitting spokes toward the back half. This is just warming up that hip. Got all kinds of hip rotators in there. So you're going to get into those. And the more you turn your leg or your foot, Curry heard John coming. He's not in the door yet. I don't know how he heard. Those dog ears are great. And then don't forget to stretch straight back and sitting on the edge of the chair so that hip flexors in front here get a nice stretch. And then as you're warmed up enough to hold there. Let that leg be as straight as it's willing to go today. If it needs a little bend, that's fine. Everybody gets a stretch in a different way. So I've been doing yoga over 30 years. I need to take my leg as straight as I can to get any kind of a stretch in there. Just keep breathing and wait for an exhale to bend the knee back in. And let's walk it to the front. My chair is squeaky. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. Need some oil. And just pause in front, and your legs should feel pretty worked. We've worked the spine, we've worked the shoulders and arms. So we're gonna put it all together in some standing poses. So let's turn over to the side again and have your slider there handy. Pick any of those spokes. It can be toward the side or toward the back. And we'll be doing this multiple times, switching around so you can take different spokes each time. So feel free to start easier and then work it further back. And turn toward the bent knee in front. That'll be your front leg. Inhale, long spine, and exhale, and just a little lean forward over that front leg. Inhale, come back up, and arms go up for warrior one. And then turn sideways toward the screen. Take your arms out to the sides for warrior two. And then back up to the front for warrior one, arms up. And fold over the front leg, exhaling. And come on back up and bend that knee and walk it around to the other side. All right, set the back leg. Just be mindful that you do about the same position on each side, and then the next time we go back to that first side, picking a different position then. All right, hands to the front knee. Exhale, fold over. Inhale all the way up, arms up. Warrior one. Turning sideways, arms out wide, warrior two. And then as you're ready, back to warrior one. And folding over the front leg, exhale. Come on up on the inhale, bend the back knee and facing in front. Face forward. All right, and we're gonna put a sun salute in here. Exhale. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, fold over the knees. And then bring your hands, interlace your hands behind one leg and lift the heel up, bend the toes, get that leg up as much as comfortable for you for a lunge. You can kick it out if you like. And then put that leg down, both legs out, and push into the chair for a little arm strengthening work. Our down dog, and then a back bend. And then let's do a shoulder stretch. Stretch your arms. You can clasp your hands together and turn your palms away from you. Get a nice shoulder stretch there. Another variation of down dog. And then interlace the hands behind the other leg for the lunge on the other side. And then fold over your legs, exhaling. All the way up, arms up. And back to start, exhale. All right, we're going to do that again between sides. So turn to the side again. Foot on the slider and picking a different position for your back leg, different spoke. Turn towards your front knee. Exhale, fold over the front knee. Inhale all the way up, arms up. Turning sideways, arms out wide for warrior two. And then let's bring the elbows, bend the arms and bring the elbows down. One elbow on the thigh, other hand's going to be at the hip. And just pause here for flank stretch. You can deepen the stretch using that arm. Lift that arm up and over. And then put that arm in reverse, back to the hip. Pause right there. And turn the torso more toward facing the screen. The torso likes to kind of roll down toward the floor. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then come on back up to warrior two, raising the arms. And then turn toward the front leg, arms up for warrior one. Exhale, fold over the leg. Inhale, back up. Exhale, bend the back knee and walk it around to the other side. And set the back leg about the same angle that you had before on the other side. And exhale, fold over the front leg. Inhale, come on up, all the way up, arms up, warrior one. Turning sideways, arms out wide for warrior two. And then elbows, bend the elbows, elbow to thigh, other hand to the hip for flank stretch. Deepening that stretch by adding that arm if you like. And back to warrior two. Warrior one. And folding over the front leg, exhale. Back up on the inhale, bend the knee on the exhale and facing to the front. A sun salute in here. Exhale. Inhale, arms up, your range of motion for your shoulders. Exhale, fold over the legs. Bringing one leg with you for the lunge. Downward dog, the arm strengthening version, pushing into your chair. And then the back bend. And then the shoulder stretch variation of downward dog. And then lunging I think it's this side, the other leg. You keep track better than me. Fold over the legs. All the way up, arms up. And back to start. All right, let's go to the side again. We'll add on a standing pose again. Set the back leg, any position for you. Exhale here. Inhale up for warrior one. Turning sideways again, warrior two. We're going to take a twist around toward the back of your chair. You might be able to bring the opposite hand to the front knee, other hand to the chair back. And then come back to warrior two, facing the screen. Drop the back hand to the chair or your back leg and reach the front arm up, arch back, come back to warrior two. Plank stretch. Squeeze the bottom tips of the shoulder blades together. Back to warrior two. And warrior one. And over the front leg. Back up, bend the back knee, and facing forward. Or actually doing the other side. Turn it all the way around. And set that back leg again. All right. Exhale. On the inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. We're going to spin around toward the back of the chair. Front one arm, opposite hand's going to come to that front leg. Take a twist. And then unwind back to warrior two. Drop the back arm toward the back leg or your chair and reach the front arm up and arching back. Back to warrior two. And plank stretch. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, and you can add that arm. I think I forgot to add the arm on the other side. And put that arm back in reverse to the hip. Warrior two again. Inhaling, warrior one. And over the front leg. And back up and bend the back knee. Come to face forward. We'll put a sun salute in here again. Exhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, over you go. Fold over your legs. And bringing one leg with you. Try to remember which leg you're lunging. I'm not so good at that. And then downward dog, the arm strengthening one. And the back bend. And the arm stretch. Shoulder stretch. Any shoulder stretch you like. And lunging the other leg. This side. And folding over the legs. Exhale. All the way up, arms up, inhaling. And exhale back to start. All right, and just pause for a moment. You can close the eyes if you like and kind of scan your body with your mind's eye and feel what feels really worked. Maybe you have some heat or some tingling in the body, and feel what feels like, oh, we haven't even done any stretching or haven't worked that area at all. And also, hopefully, you're scanning and hopefully you don't feel overworked or pain in any place. And if so, just make a note to yourself that you might be the kind of personality that overdoes it. And so, your work for balancing yourself is to learn to back off, maybe just do 50% effort. And so, for me, where I feel like we still need a little work is the eyes and the neck and maybe the fingers. So we're gonna focus on those. So find a point on the horizon line that you can focus on. That'll be your center point or your neutral point, and let the head and body kind of stay put, and just take the eyes up, up to where the wall and the ceiling meet, and then trace a line toward a spot right above your head, and see how far you can take your eyes without the head moving. And when you feel like you can't take your eyes any further, you have to move the head. Go ahead and lift the head just a little bit, not just lifting the chin. Keep the back of the neck stretching as well. So you feel like you're this long body, long spine. And then keeping the body where it's at, let the eyes go back down to the wall in front, even trying to find that spot in front without the body moving. But when the body says, okay, I got to move, or maybe you can't brought your eyes all the way to your center point, eventually go ahead and let the body catch up. So you're all back in neutral. The eyes are at center point and your body, head and neck and the rest of the spine are all back to neutral as well. And then we'll do similar to the side. So pick a side, start to take the eyes over without the head and body moving. When it feels like you can't stretch those eyes any further, go ahead and let the head go. Try not to move the shoulders. And just the head a little bit, and let the eyes go that much further, and then the head a little bit, and then the eyes even further until you feel like, oh, I have to move the shoulders to help. And don't keep the shoulders there, just the head has turned and the eyes are stretching, and then keep your head there and your body and release the eyes back. Let the eyes go back towards the front. And when they feel like they can't get any further without the head helping, let the head release a little bit and let until those eyes find that center point, and then go ahead and let the head catch up. So everybody's back to neutral, head and eyes and body. And do the same on the other side. The eyes go first, as far around as they can, without anything helping, nothing, no head, certainly not the shoulders, and then let the head help a little bit, but those eyes go out in front again. Head helps a little, eyes go even further. Those eyes go around and the head is far around without the shoulders helping. And then release the eyes, keep the head there, let the eyes go back toward the front. And the head helps a little bit. And as soon as those eyes catch the center, hold them there. Keep them on your center point or your neutral point, and let everything catch up. All right, and again, just pause, close your eyes, and just feel the uh, stretch around the eyes, and even the neck got a little stretched. We're going to take two more of the diagonals. They're a little more difficult to find on a sort of a line. So I sort of imagine a little bug is crawling on the diagonal and hits the ceiling at some point, and it's going to come to some point over in the this area of your ceiling. All right, so starting at the excuse me, at your neutral point, your center point. Keep the head and the body there. Eyes follow some imaginary diagonal line until the head says, oh, I got to help. And then let the head help a little, but the eyes go more. Head, eyes, and then keep the head there. Let the eyes go back on that imaginary diagonal. And then the head releases. Everything's back to neutral. Other side, other diagonal. Head goes when it needs to. Eyes, head, eyes. And then hold the head there on that diagonal and release the eyes back. Many people can get the eyes all the way back to neutral on either the side to side or the diagonals. So just make note. So whichever one it's more difficult to get the eyes back, you don't need that one. But if your eyes easily go back without the head having to help, your stretch is not that big. So you want to keep working that stretch, get it a little bit bigger. All right. So I'm going to close my eyes again and just do a scan. Oh yeah, I wanted to do the fingers. Never mind. We'll scan after this. Let's bring the fingertips together. And on the exhale, press your fingertips together and turn the fingertips forward toward the screen and press. Keep your shoulder blades together so you don't want to round the body, upper back. And point the fingertips down without rounding your shoulders. So keep your shoulder blade tips squeezing in toward each other and press those fingertips together. All right, and then press the whole hand together. Exhale, press. Again, turn the fingers pointing toward the screen. Shoulder blades together, press. You're pressing on your exhale. And then turn the fingers down. Press, exhaling. And then keep the fingers together, but pull the heel of the hands away from each other. Heel of the hands away from each other, but the fingers stay pressing. Fingers up and press. Shoulder blades are together. Fingertips pointing forward, press. And fingertips pointing down and press. All right, and then just wiggle your fingers, shake them loose. Relax the fingers on your thighs, palms down. And you're going to keep, let me scoot forward so this is easier to see. You're going to keep the fingers down, but lift the heel of the hand up. Let me show this from the side. So palms down, fingers down, lift the heel of the hand up, and you're going to rock your wrists side to side across. So the index fingers get a stretch when you roll your wrists toward the inside, and the pinky side of the hand gets a stretch when you roll your wrists out. So back and forth like that, and then relax. You can again wiggle your fingers. We're going to take one finger at a time and draw it backwards. Just lifting one finger at a time. When you lift one finger, try not to let the other fingers lift as well. Ring finger, other finger, so all four fingers, and you can do the thumb as well. And the other side, one finger at a time, lifting, getting that stretch. And the reason these are important is most of the time we're doing this kind of thing. We're picking up things, working our hands with everything sort of grasping, not this extension backwards. So it's good for your hands to stretch those things backwards. All right, and then let's take another scan. Just close your eyes, take a little body scan, and see what feels the most heat or the most tingly or feels the most worked. All right, I want to get into this area here in the back. So to do that, you're going to kind of just shift to lift one hip up and then the other hip. Shifting side to side to lift one hip. I'm going to sort of take this up a notch by sort of stacking the feet, and you can have the knees a little bit bent. And so it's a little more difficult, and you can change that stack. So the leg that's on top is the hip that's lifting. And you can stretch the leg straight and stack the feet one foot on top of the other and roll the hips. And so I'm using my hands back behind me on the chair to help give a little push to lift that up. This does require some core strength. So you take whichever of those options that worked for you, just shifting side to side. And we're going to come back to where we started with just knees bent, feet on the floor, and lifting like this. Once you lift, you're going to lift that leg up and cross and back down. Other side, lift that front leg or that lifted hip leg up and cross it over. And it doesn't have to cross to, cross to touch, but just to get a stretch into this outer hip. All right. All right, let's take a pause again. That's kind of a hard area to get in chair yoga. I don't think I've done that in many classes. Some of you guys who've been here longer term might remember the last one at time I've done that, but all right, I feel pretty worked. So hopefully you do too. We're just gonna roll the shoulders a little bit. Yeah, and next time you roll them up, hold right there, like scrunching your shoulders up toward your ears. And then you can use your elbows, bend your elbows and roll the shoulders back toward the wall behind you, squeezing your shoulder blades in toward each other. Keep breathing. And then just let them go. Just soften to release. Don't push them down, but just let them release back to neutral. All right. And then to relax, you can now use your chair back if you're not already there, and just rest the spine in the chair back. Relax your body, legs, arms, shoulders, hands, everything, eyes, whatever is the most relaxing for you. That is eyes open or closed, hands in your lap, palms up or down, or holding onto your arms, whatever feels the most relaxed for you. Take a position, palms up or down. And start with the very top of your head. Feel like somebody's placed a quarter on the very top of your head. And they have their finger or thumb or something pressing on that quarter, just the smallest amount. And you're going to lengthen up into that pressure. It's a gentle pressure. They're not like smushing your head or your neck or anything. You're just going to lengthen up into that. And then just keep your nice height, but soften it a little. Make it a very relaxed and not a effortful. So soften. And then as though they slide their hand, no quarter anymore, but they slide their hand or their finger from that spot on the top of your head down the center seam in the back till they get to the top of your neck. And just pause right there. And you might just tip your chin down a little bit just to let them get into that, where that bulb of your skull meets the neck. Let them get into that little spot right there and just pause. And they're going to go to 2 fingers down either side of your spine, starting at the top of your neck. And just slowly feel their fingers going down either side of your neck until they get to where the neck meets the torso. And feel like they take their fingers out toward your shoulders. And just let your arms relax down from the shoulders, like your arms just hang from the shoulder. And again, those fingers are on either side of the spine up at the base of the neck and sliding down either side of the spine down from the top of the torso down into the waist. And then just take a breath or soften all around the waist, the waistline area in the back body, sides, and the front waist. And down into the hips, soften. And release down the legs from the hips to the knees, tops of your thighs, the outer thigh, inner thigh, and the backs of the thighs into the back of the knee, and all around the knees. And then soften and relax from the knees down the lower leg, shin bones in the front, the calves down the back, and the inner and outer leg, lower leg, down into the ankles, releasing all around the ankles and into the feet. And maybe for a moment, just in honor of Martin Luther King Jr., just say, I have a dream. And then slowly open your eyes. Thank you. Namaste.